Hi friends, I'm Kristen. I'm a trust-based relational intervention practitioner, and today we are talking about time-ins, which is a spin on timeouts. Now, we're all familiar with timeouts. I myself have very fond memories of timeouts as a child. I remember sitting in this little white wicker rocking chair, or as I grew older, being sent to my room for talking back to my parents or doing something to my sister. Sorry, Lindsay. So we're all familiar with timeouts, but what exactly is the difference between a timeout versus a time-in? So in most cases, with a timeout, the child is sent away and they experience isolation. With a time-in, the child is brought in. They are drawn in, and you're kind of sitting in it with them in the midst of their bad behavior. So what does a time-in look like in everyday life? So say your child is being disrespectful to their sibling, maybe they're calling them some mean names. So you'd say, hey bud, that's not okay. I want you to sit right here and take some deep breaths. I'm gonna stand right here next to you, and I want you to sit there and think about what you did wrong and what you can do right. And then when you're ready to talk about what you did wrong and what you can do right instead, I want you to say ready. So you're gonna stand within eyesight, you're not gonna walk away to some other room, or you can sit next to your child, it kind of just depends on the child. And then you're gonna give them a few minutes to think. And then when they say ready, you're gonna walk over, maybe grab their hands in your hands, maybe put your hands on their knees, give them some of that physical touch, make eye contact, give them some warm eyes, and then you're gonna listen as they tell you what they did wrong and what they can do right. Then you're gonna go back to the scene of the crime, you're gonna walk them through a redo, and then after they do that redo, you praise them for doing a great job on their redo, for using their good words with their sibling and being respectful. And that is a time-in. So some of the why behind a time-in versus a timeout. So like I said before, with a timeout, children are sent away. And so repeated experiences, it forms these neural networks in the brain, and neurons that fire together wire together. So those repeated experiences of children being sent away, of being isolated, can cause children to believe at their core that people only want to be around them when they are good, that they are only loved when they are acting right. And we know that that's not true. Children have a deep-seated need for connection, and children, when they are misbehaving, is when they are most vulnerable. And we know that misbehavior is often an indicator of an underlying unmet need. And oftentimes that unmet need is connection. And so by sending a child away in a timeout, that underlying need isn't being addressed. It's not being met. And a timeout can often make a child more dysregulated. It can make a child angrier. A time-in instead gives the child the message that, hey bud, your behavior's not okay, but you're always okay in my book. And I am here in the midst of your worst behavior, and I am right here with you no matter what. And you are loved, and you are precious, and you are valued, and that will never change. And that is what every child so desperately needs to hear. So that, my friends, is a time-in.